Our top story of the day, the Lakers have agreed to a 4-year contract with JJ Redick to make him the franchise's next head coach. The Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka became sold on Redick's ability to connect with players and his basketball IQ. Our Michael Wilbon assessed the situation this way.
He walks into the most unrealistic pressures in the NBA. There are more unrealistic expectations surrounding the Lakers than any team, I think, in North America. They're the most arrogant fan base, and JJ Redick has no experience as a coach. There have been some veteran coaches who got run out of town. They don't remember what happened this morning. So he walks into the lion's den. He does.
The lion's den, as Michael Wilbon says. Brian Windhorst, do you agree? What is this? What are the right things to say about this situation now that it has finally happened?
Well, the Lakers just didn't have a great set of options here. Erik Spoelstra was not available. Ty Lue was not available. This is like having the 25th pick in the draft. You draft the highest upside guy that you can at that spot. That's what the Lakers are trying to do here. They're trying to find a hybrid coach, a guy who's a former player, who has the respect of the guys in the locker room, who also has proven that he can be an analytical mind, that he can coach in a modern way. That's what JJ does. That's what JJ and LeBron were talking about on those podcasts and what he's talked about on TV and in other settings over the years. The challenge is, Greeny, he's never coached a meaningful game at any level. And so you're making a big gamble in that, in my opinion.
Yeah, there isn't any way not to look at it as at least some risk, right? I mean, anyone who is completely unproven, you just never know what direction it's going to go. That said, for a lot of the reasons you just laid out, it's easy to see where the potential upside is. He's obviously very smart. He obviously has credibility with a lot of the players, and he obviously has a good relationship with the biggest star, which is LeBron James. Now, let's get to something we haven't gotten to in the 1 hour and 2.5 minutes that we've been on the air yet today. Because the question is, how does Anthony Davis feel about all of this? Anthony Davis had a very close relationship, or to at least some degree, with Monty Williams when they were together in New Orleans. Monty became available. The Lakers didn't go that way. What were you telling me this morning that you believe Anthony Davis is looking for? Who does he want on that bench?
I mean, I've been hearing rumbles about Rajon Rondo coming into that coaching staff. And when you talk about Rondo, he's the guy who won a championship with LeBron and AD in the bubble. He has a great basketball mind. He has the respect of those guys. He can hold those guys accountable. And the situation that JJ is coming in right now with the draft around the corner, free agency and different things like that, you have to fast track this process. So I think having an ally in the locker room like Rondo, shout out Perk, because I know you was on us about that, having an ally in the locker room like Rondo helps fast track this process and gets that trust, because trust is going to be the biggest thing for JJ.
Well, that's the point. So literally, as we were talking about this, 8:37 a.m., I got a text from our friend Big Kendrick Perkins, who said, ask Windy, why is AD so big on getting Rondo on the bench next to JJ? Seems like he needs someone on that staff he considers his guy. So what should we make of that if all... That sounds like he's basically suggesting, well, JJ is LeBron's guy. AD feels a need to have his guy.
That's the current NBA. That's the current NBA. Everybody has their guy on the staff.
Has their guy.
In some shape, form, fashion, whether he's in the medical staff, whether he's in the training staff, whether he's on the coaching staff. If you're a superstar and you come to a team, you got your guy somewhere in the building.
Is this a concern? I guess what I'm asking you is, are we concerned?
This is not that hard.
No.
So JJ Redick's going to be the head coach. That's great. Is he LeBron's guy? It's not like he played with LeBron for 15 years. He's in LeBron's inner circle. He knows LeBron. They're clearly friends. So if you need an AD guy, go hire a guy that knows AD. If he's a good coach, he helps your staff. Everyone gets in a room. They get along. This isn't rocket science. This is an NBA coaching staff.
Yeah. It's Royal Ivy has a job in anywhere that Kevin Durant goes because they have a great relationship. It's just how that works. Players comfortable with the coach, you bring him in on your staff.
And when you got a guy like that, he can have those uncomfortable conversations with AD. He can have those uncomfortable conversations with LeBron. Those conversations that JJ might not be ready to have right now. He hasn't had the rapport or the relationship with those guys to have that yet. Rondo can have that.
Did I miss a meeting? Has Rajon Rondo been coaching somewhere? Man, we're going to have a coach on the staff who was ever coaching
while he played.
He has the IQ.
Yes. He's been rumored as a coaching candidate before, and he is, by all accounts, an absolute savant at seeing the game.
Is this a thing now? Is this the world we're going to live in, Windy? We have lived. This has been a league since I'm a kid,
Players league,
where it's a players' league more than at any other time.
Yes.
But I guess what I'm saying is, since I was a kid, there were like 8 coaches that just would coach everywhere, right? You have Gene Shue, coach like every Dick Motta, right? Gene Shue, Dick Motta, guys like that. They coached like half the teams in the NBA, and they would go from place to place. All of a sudden, like we're living in a world where, with varying levels of success, Steve Nash gets a job out of nowhere. JJ Redick gets a job out of nowhere. Steve Kerr gets a job comparatively out of nowhere. Now Rajon Rondo. Is that the world we're going to be living in, Winnie? Should we be expecting highly respected, recently retired former players to become the next wave of NBA head coaches?
Teams are just trying to find it because, I'm about to start my 22nd year covering the NBA, and one of the things that you see is everybody's trying to figure out how to win the draft, and everybody's trying to figure out how to win a coaching hire because they're both very, very hard. You can put a lot of time and effort into it, and you can still mess it up. You can be really good at a lot of things and mess that up. And that's one of the reasons why head coaches are all of a sudden starting to get paid 8-figure per year salaries. Because if you've got a good one, you're willing to pay to keep him because you're afraid of him getting plucked away. So trying to identify and develop and raise a coach is going to be huge. In fact, with what coaches' salaries are getting paid and the value of coaches, it wouldn't surprise me if in the next few years we start seeing coaches get traded because coaches are going to have that kind of value. And so what you're seeing here is teams trying to find an edge in this spot. Instead of trying to find sort of replacement level, they're trying to swing for a grand slam. They're trying to find a way to find a special talent. And we've seen failures. We've seen teams dip into the coaching college ranks and their failures. But that's what we're seeing. We're basically just seeing a new frontier. The Lakers didn't like what was on the menu. They're trying to order off the menu. We'll see if it comes out okay or not.
Are we defining success for the Lakers as make it to the finals or failure? Because if so, then the sense I'm getting from all of you guys is no matter who the coach was, they're probably set up for failure.
Well, that depends on who we is. If we is us, then we need to do a better job. Look, I was going to say, this is all cool. We're sitting here talking about assistant coaches and who's this guy's.
Right.
All that matters is the roster. The roster is not good enough to justify those expectations. The roster worked this summer when they have 3 draft picks to trade at their disposal, some mid-sized salaries on good players. That's the meat of it. You can hire anybody as coach. If your expectation is a team that's been in the play-in tournament and won one single solitary playoff game last year and whose best player is turning 40 years old, if your expectation is we got to make a championship run with the Thunder, the Wolves, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Suns, and the Mavericks, the team that just made the finals, you got to do a lot of work on the roster because it ain't good enough. We can sit here and have this whole discussion.
You've got it. This is why the expectations are where they are, because a year ago.
Whose expectations?
It was the irrational fan base.
Yeah. Well, who cares? If you're governing
that
your
matters.
team
No,
based
that
on
stuff
them,
matters. You understand that this is the Lakers, this is the brand, and the Celtics just got banner 18. They got one more than you now. And that's why Magic Johnson's tweeting what he's tweeting.
Listen,
all that stuff matters. So when you just got to the Western Conference Finals a year before this, with the relatively same roster, you have Vanderbilt has been hurt all year. Gabe Vincent was a sneaky good pickup. You know all about him. That was a sneaky good pickup. He was hurt all year. Finally got healthy at the end. If those guys are healthy, the issue that they had, which is perimeter defense, gets resolved. They still have LeBron playing at an elite level, Anthony Davis elite level, and maybe a coach that they're all buying into now with a coaching staff they can buy into. There is opportunity for this team to be good this year. How good remains to be seen.
Good is fine.
But if you're good enough with LeBron James, you have a chance in the playoffs because it's LeBron James.
What do you think, UD?
Nah.
No.
Hell no.
Hell no.
You want hell no?
That's another hell no.
Hell no.
I did my best.
And I love the Lakers, and I love everything that they got going on, but ain't no way in hell that they go to the playoffs this year with that roster right now.
Deep in the playoffs,
Listen, JJ could draw up the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It does not matter. And a couple little giants for y'all at home,
right.
But it does not matter who's on that roster because these young guys, Ant-Man, SGA, Luka, he's going to get more experience. He's going to grow out of some of those bad habits that he had. These guys are getting better. And I like to call this right now, idols are becoming rivals. All the young guys that have watched these guys dominate all this time, this is their chance. And they are not letting off the gas.
So yesterday, can I interest anyone in a Trae Young in this conversation? Trae Young tweeted somewhat cryptically, like an hourglass, like time is running out or something.
He's waiting.
Right? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, would that I don't know exactly what it would cost them to get Trae Young, and I don't know exactly what we think Trae Young is right now. Would you like that? Could I interest you in that, Zach Lowe?
You can interest me. Like, I'll have a conversation with Landry Fields about it, and they definitely need someone to take some of the ball handling pressure off of LeBron James. Austin Reeves can do that. It wasn't quite enough. The question is, what's the cost and what does it do to your defense? I think it helps their team for sure, but if it comes at the cost of all three of those draft picks and Austin Reeves, I still don't think it helps you enough. And yes, they made the conference finals 2 years ago. Very different Western Conference.
You don't
today.
like it?
Hell no. I go back to that again.
It's a lot of hell no.
And there's no disrespect to Trae Young, but if you're going to take Trae Young, then just keep D'Lo. That's 19 points a game, 47% from the field, 41% from three. He's not a great defender, but he damn sure better than Trae. They're going to put Trae in every action over there. And
That's
they're
the
going to attack him every single time. So if you're going to do that, then just stay with D'Lo.
Windy, is there a move I'm not thinking of? I'm doing everything I can here. I'm trying as hard as I can to find something they can do that will help JJ Redick and company make a deep run in the playoffs next year.
With all due respect to JJ, the acquisition of Caruso would have been bigger than the acquisition of Redick yesterday for the Lakers, because their perimeter defense is a big problem, and that is the type of move that they need to make. They need to acquire players like that, and I don't see how they're going to be able to do it, especially if they're focused on a point guard that they would pay a premium price for.
That's really good.
You know what the move really is? It's undoing the moves they made after they won the title. It's undoing letting Caruso go, and it's undoing the Russell Westbrook trade. That's what the move really is.
NBA